what is going on? She's just deleted her Twitter. She's getting called out because it was exposed, because an interview got read.
The president of Indiana Fever is now under serious pressure after Caitlin Clark exposed the entire team to the world. The backlash keeps growing stronger by the hour, and many people are genuinely surprised by it.
I'm not joking when I say this. Something's gone weirdly wrong. Like, we literally hired a freaking Chronically Online.
But this is not just about one press conference or a viral video. There's a lot more going on here, and all the details are right here.
Said before, and I will say it again. Stephanie White, Amber Cox, Kelly Crosscroft, the Indiana Fever president, they were not ready. Now, Christine Brennan in her book confirmed the WNBA and the Indiana Fever did not realize what they were about to get themselves into with drafting Caitlin Clark, because the popularity they weren't prepared for and didn't see.
After the Indiana Fever front office made some poor decisions, Caitlin Clark supporters started speaking up loudly. The rookie, who has been filling up stadiums and turning the WNBA into must-watch TV, is now being downplayed by her own team president. Kelly Crosscroft shocked her fan base with a remarkably out-of-touch comment. She compared Clark to an iPhone case instead of the iPhone itself, which many found to be a strange and dismissive way to describe someone who is clearly the main attraction. There is no question about it. The Fever matters right now because of Caitlin Clark. She is the reason fans keep showing up and cameras keep rolling. Yet the team's top leadership seems more focused on shrinking her role than giving her the credit she deserves. The fans were not having it. People across social media fired back hard, calling the comment exactly what it was: pure disrespect. Crosscroft then quietly tried to disappear from the conversation. Her account vanished overnight with no explanation and no apology, just gone. She logged off, hoping the controversy would cool down once she realized she had gone too far. But it was already too late. Fever fans and the internet do not forget easily.
Stephanie White, every single solitary move that you make is going to be scrutinized. Welcome to it.
When someone deletes their social media during a scandal, it is a clear sign they are feeling the heat. Kelly Crosscroft, the Fever's president, did exactly that after her now infamous comment about the team spread across the internet in the worst way possible. The public reacted immediately. Caitlin Clark supporters, who are the real reason the WNBA is thriving right now, flooded the internet the moment that video went viral, tearing into Crosscroft for using a business comparison to reduce Clark to just another product. By Friday night, her old account was completely gone. No cleanup, no explanation, no words at all, just disappeared. And that silence hit harder than any public statement ever could. Fans were not just unhappy, they were absolutely furious. These are season ticket holders and loyal supporters who stuck around through difficult seasons and finally felt their moment had arrived, only to watch the front office mishandle it completely. On top of that, this came after weeks of the team saying nothing about the rough treatment Clark was receiving on the court game after game. And now, their own president cannot even acknowledge her value without framing it as a marketing conversation. Crosscroft running from the situation only confirmed what fans already suspected. This is no longer just a bad headline for the Fever. It has become a serious breakdown of trust.
No, I would mess up all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that your job is easy, but when it is a simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you doing?
In San Francisco tomorrow, you're on the Las Vegas Strip. What can the Las Vegas expect from Sophie?
Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna be me. I don't go in there trying to predetermine anything. I'm dialed in. I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player, so.
Sophie Cunningham is Caitlin Clark's self-appointed protector on the court. The kind of teammate who makes it clear that crossing Clark comes with consequences. She recently set the league on fire with her words. On the very first episode of her podcast, Show Me Something, Sophie let everything out in a raw and completely unfiltered rant that felt like it came straight from a dramatic television series. She was not just targeting opponents either. She went after everyone who has tried to downplay what Caitlin Clark has brought to this league. She called people out directly and without holding back, repeating her point 3 times to make sure it landed. The clip exploded across every platform and quickly became the most talked about moment in the sport right now. Sophie knew exactly what she was doing, but she does not just talk. This is the same woman who physically responded after Clark took an elbow to the face, sending a Connecticut Sun player flying without a single regret about getting ejected. She made it clear she will always have her teammates back, no matter what. But things get more complicated from here. Sophie did not stop at calling out opponents or bad officiating. She turned her attention toward the Indiana Fever itself, suggesting that some of the disrespect toward Clark is actually coming from inside the locker room. Some teammates are treating her podcast like a direct challenge. The tension among fans is real. The WNBA is no longer just a battleground between veterans and rising stars. Indiana is now burning from the inside. And Sophie is not here to calm anything down. She is here to burn it all to the ground.
Wasn't a dirty play. It was an intentional foul and it was meant to send a message. It turned into a scuffle and I don't think anybody wanted that. But the way that the game went and how egregious the referees were and how they were not protecting players, and they especially weren't protecting the #1 player in this league, the biggest draw in this league, which is Caitlin Clark, and they continue to not do that. To me, this was not a dirty play. This was making a statement because the referees didn't do their damn job. This would not have happened at the end of the game if the referees did their job during the first play. If the referees did their job, not just the first play, every single play leading up to that. If the referees had control of the game, that is their only job. The referees' first job, their #1 job, is to protect their players.
Like, I get into it a certain extent, and like every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're going to treat them. But there's just more.
To a certain degree, it makes sense. Every rookie coming into this league gets tested. But what is happening to Caitlin Clark goes well beyond that. Let us be straight about it. Clark is getting physically punished on the court. Elbows, hard fouls, and dirty plays are happening right in front of the referees, and nothing is being called. If anyone laid a hand on LeBron or Steph like that in the NBA, there would be immediate penalties, leak statements, and it would be breaking news within minutes. But when Clark gets hit in the WNBA, the game just moves on like nothing happened. Look at the Fever versus Liberty game on May 24th. Natasha Cloud ran directly into Clark in the middle of a tight 2-point game, shoulder down and full speed. The referees just stood there and watched. Clark raised her hands and looked around in disbelief, and no one said a word. Meanwhile, the Liberty celebrated as the buzzer went off. Sophie Cunningham did not hold back, saying she felt completely disrespected all over again. And she is right. The double standard is loud and impossible to ignore at this point. This is not physical defense. This is calculated targeting. Some players on opposing teams have even quietly admitted that the goal is to make things hard for her, which is really just a way of saying break her down before she becomes too dominant. But Clark is not breaking. She refused to accept being treated this way and kept competing. And Sophie is right there throwing herself into every battle on and off the court. This is bigger than a few missed calls. People are starting to notice the pattern. Honestly, something feels deliberately orchestrated here. This is no longer just a basketball story.
We want to sustain the growth and the interest level in the franchise. I mean, this is about the Indiana Fever. Yes, we have a foundational player in Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston, and we're going to continue to add to that. But I want this team to be the leader in the country, and a brand, an enduring brand, like Apple or something. I mean,
Things are far from okay in Indiana behind closed doors, and the tension has moved well past drama into something real. On one side, the front office is trying to reshape the Fever into a polished and marketable brand along the lines of Apple. But players, fans, and even coaches from other teams all understand one simple truth. Caitlin Clark is the brand, And that is where things start falling apart. The situation took a sharp turn when President Kelly Kroskoff made moves that seemed aimed at pulling back Clark's influence. That is when Sophie Cunningham stopped just disagreeing with her leadership and completely lost patience with them. And this was not some emotional reaction caught off guard in an interview. According to people close to the situation, the podcast was a deliberate and carefully planned response following the president's public comments. Sophie did not just take shots at the WNBA in general. She brought out specific examples and called out her own front office directly for the world to see. That is not frustration talking. That is a full rebellion. And honestly, it exposed a deep identity crisis running through the entire organization. The Fever already have the player that franchises dream about building around, yet they are treating her more like a problem than a gift. The team is now split down the middle. Some are holding onto old power structures, while others recognize that Caitlin Clark is where this franchise's future lives. And Sophie, along with those others, are not just blindly cheering. They genuinely see what is happening.
Second, take a look here.
What the WNBA is doing with Caitlin Clark is the equivalent of the NBA doing this to Michael Jordan in 1986. It just doesn't make sense to me. You are biting the hand that feeds you. Mind you, without...
If LeBron James got poked in the eye and slammed to the floor, Twitter would crash and SportsCenter would run it all day long. But when Caitlin Clark gets hit, there is no whistle, no reaction, and the league stays completely quiet. Picture Steph Curry getting fouled hard with zero protection game after game. The NBA would never allow that to slide. Yet, that is exactly what Clark is dealing with every single night. She is not just another newcomer finding her footing. She is the entire reason women's basketball is pulling in record numbers right now. The packed arenas, the television ratings, the national attention, that is all Clark. And yet, despite being the one driving all of that success, she is being treated like she barely matters. Sophie Cunningham said it best with one word: unacceptable. Coach Stephanie White stood in front of the media and called out the referees directly for missing it. The fans see it, the media sees it, but the league keeps saying nothing. The uncomfortable truth is that if Clark were a man, this league would be bending over backwards to protect her. Instead, she gets shoved around while her own team's executives do next to nothing. Fans are fighting for her. Sophie is defending her. But the very people who should be standing beside her are too caught up in politics to act. Clark is not just the future of this sport. She is already here and delivering. The problem is that those who have been running things for years are acting like her presence threatens everything they built. This is not just a disagreement. This is a moment of reckoning. Clark's impact is not going away, but the WNBA's leadership and her own organization may be throwing away a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity right in front of everyone. Sophie Cunningham keeps making one thing absolutely clear: you are either with Clark or you are against her. And if you thought things were wild before, what is coming next might be even bigger. When you step back and look at the full picture, this situation goes far beyond one controversy or one press conference. It reflects the growing pressure that comes with a sport stepping into a much bigger spotlight than it has ever faced before. Not everyone inside the league was prepared for what happens when growth hits this fast and this hard. What we are witnessing is an entire league, its teams, and its fan base all trying to figure out how to handle a level of attention that is completely new. Through all of it, one thing has stayed the same. The players keep competing and the fans keep showing up, and that energy is what continues to push the sport forward. Every heated debate, every viral moment, and every unexpected twist is proof of how deeply people care about where this game is headed. These challenges are not signs of failure. They are signs of growth. They push teams to think harder, push leaders to communicate better, and push the league to build stronger foundations going forward. Growth is rarely comfortable. It demands patience, flexibility, and a willingness to sit with difficult moments. But those moments are exactly what reveals what needs to change and what needs to be built stronger. The connection between athletes, fans, and the wider public has never been this powerful, and it is driving a real and lasting shift in women's sports. At the center of all this noise is still the game itself. The talent on the court, the strategy, the passion, and the competition are what keep people glued to their screens every single night. No matter what happens off the court, players keep growing, teams keep evolving, and the league keeps building a stronger and more confident identity than it has ever had. The challenges of today are laying the groundwork for the wins of tomorrow. This story is far from finished. New moments, new performances, and new surprises will keep writing it forward. The momentum is just getting started and nothing is slowing it down. If you want to stay ahead of everything happening, keep watching, keep engaging, and keep making your voice heard. The best parts of this journey are still ahead, and what comes next could change everything. Thank you for watching Clark Facts, your most reliable source for clear and honest coverage. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and leave a comment below. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Stay informed, stay connected, and stay ready because more big stories are on the way.